Previously on Under the Helmet.
You are more than welcome to join me for this trip to Cheltenham. Fiat 500. A pure sign that I've lost the will to live and I have no excitement in life. But yeah boy, you get me. Anyway, this is Cheltenham. It's a bit posh. This is the posh end of Cheltenham. I'm gonna go to an area where you might see, I don't know whether you can see on the camera, you might see the contrast. So yeah, but this is the posh area. So Montpellier is over there. This is this is where people with money come, this end of town. But Cheltenham's nice. It's a nice town centre. It hasn't been ruined. The fuck? It hasn't been ruined, and for the most part, I love it. I love coming back here every now and again. I do miss living here. It's great if you want a night out. Cheltenham's pretty good for a night out. But yeah, it can be quite expensive. I was very lucky to find the flat that I had for the time that I was here, because that wasn't that expensive, but it was walking distance to the centre and it was right near the train station as well. So I was very, very lucky. And it was a ground floor flat, 2-bedroom, private garden, garage. It just had everything that I needed when I was living there as a single guy. But yeah, love came along and I ended up moving to Wiltshire. Which is fine. I don't mind living anywhere, to be fair, within reason. I've lived in that many different places. Right, so this is the bit I was on about. So if you look, again, you might not be able to say because the camera's on super wide view, but if I look left, that there is Crackhead Central, and if I look right, that is everyone who shops in John Lewis. It is every town's got its good and bad areas, right? In fact, I was gonna ride on to Chukesbury. I think I'm gonna stop here actually. Yeah, every town's got its good and bad areas, and yeah, it literally is like crossing a border from posh land to benefit land, because the bottom end of town is just horrible. I'm going to break my own rule here. I'm going to get a Starbucks. Once I illegally get up this curb. Well, it's not illegal as far as I know. Anyway, I'm going to get a coffee and I'll catch you in a bit. Okay, so basically I stopped for, I was going to have 10-15 minutes rest there, but a traffic warden came along and basically has moved me on. But he was a really nice guy actually. The thing is, like, a lot of people will immediately get into an argument with traffic wardens. You get idiots that'll be like, "Oh, go do a fucking real job," go do a fucking real job. But they're just doing their job, and in most cases, if you're polite, then they'll be polite back. I mean, I said to him, I was, he says you shouldn't park there, and I was like, "Oh, sorry mate," and I said, "Look, can I just have 5 minutes, because I just stopped for a quick drink of water?" And he says, "Yeah," he says, "Look, I'll stay with you." He says, "You can have 5 minutes, but can't let you have any longer than that." And I was like, "No, that's fine mate, no problem." So it turns out he was a bit of a bike fan as well. So we spent 5 minutes chatting, and then I didn't want to take the piss, and I said, "Look, I really appreciate it mate, I'll shoot off, I'll be on my way." and he was a really nice guy, you know. Whereas, like I say, sometimes some people will immediately go on the defensive or the offensive when it comes to people like traffic wardens, but they're just doing their job. I mean, if we could park everywhere and anywhere, it would be chaos, wouldn't it? It would be nightmare. People would be just parking everywhere, blocking everyone, and so there has to be like controlled parking. And I do get it, like some traffic wardens are probably have the stereotypical traffic warden personality to go with it, but I'd say most people are just people, right? Most of them are just, well, they're just human beings like everyone else. So why not just be nice? Why not just be decent to them, and the chances are they'll be decent to you. Anyway, so yeah, I was going to stop there for about 10-15 minutes, but I can't, so I'm actually going to ride to Chukesbury. Fuck it, I'm going to ride to Chukesbury, stop in the town centre there, have a coffee, and then on the way home I'm going to do another amazing road. So I'm going to detour. I'm going to do a road that we used to call well, we still do, we call it the Chukesbury TT. So yeah, that's what I'll do, make an afternoon of it. What else do I talk about? What other skullduggery do we consider and do we chat about? But what other shit can I talk about? I don't want to rant, like I'm sick of ranting. I always, well, quite often I end up going off into a rant, so I don't want to rant. So let's narrow it down. I don't want to rant about the weather. I don't want to rant about the UK roads and the state of them. I don't want to rant about UK drivers. I don't want to rant about the price of motorbikes. What does that leave? It leaves fuck all to talk about. So Suzuki are re-releasing the GSX-R 1000 or GSX-R 1000R, and it's really good news. I hope that it's not just a one-off 40th anniversary edition and then they're going to stop making them again. I hope we'll get many more years of 1000cc sports bikes. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see what the price is. Apparently they've changed a lot of the, it's not just like, they haven't just repackaged the old version, they've done a lot of changes. I'm not too keen on the colours though, I must admit. The colours would need to grow on me. Like, there's three colour schemes. There is the yellow and black, the red and white, and then the blue and white. But the blue, even the blue and white version, I'm just not convinced. Not convinced with those colours. They don't do it for me yet. Yeah, maybe it will grow on me, but oh, the joys of being on a motorcycle. I'm just going to whiz up the motorway. Actually, it's only one junction, but it also gives me a chance to do another motorway junction that's actually quite fun. Porsche, I mean, not Porsche, fucking hell, Aston Martin. I think, you know, if I like won the lottery or anything like that, I think the only supercar I would ever buy and own would be an Aston Martin. I don't think, like, I wouldn't buy a Ferrari or a Lamborghini. I don't like Porsches, even though a Porsche is probably, you could live with a Porsche every day, or some of them at least, I guess. I mean, you couldn't live with a Ferrari or a Lamborghini every day. You couldn't go to the shops for some bread in a Lamborghini. But yeah, I don't like Porsches at all. Never liked them. But with the Aston Martin, it's nice, it's stylish, and it's still a supercar. Well, depending on which one you get. So yeah, definitely I'd go for an Aston Martin. Oh, fucking love it. I know I'm a big fucking child, but I love it. So yeah, I absolutely love Chukesbury. I love this area, like Gloucestershire. It's sort of home for me really, because I lived in Gloucestershire for like the best part of 10 years. I mean, it's not home as in it's not where I'm from, but I lived in the area for, was it 10, 11 years? 12 years maybe, yeah, about 12 years actually. So it's one of the, it's probably the only place other than where I grew up. It's the place that I lived the longest, the area that I lived the longest, because I moved around a lot, obviously being in the military. So yeah, Gloucestershire is like a sort of second home. What I'm going to do also is, when I stop here, I'm going to stop in Chukesbury for a coffee actually, is when I stop I'm going to switch batteries. I think this one's now on 38%, so actually that's a lot of footage at 4K that I've managed to get. I'm going to no, I had a thought then, I've just changed my mind. So yeah, that's quite a lot of footage I think that I've managed to get. Obviously when you see this, the final edited version is not going to be all of the footage, because I won't bore you to death with all of the raw footage. But I've actually got quite a lot of footage there, recorded in 4K. So I wonder, I just hope it all uploads okay, and YouTube, because I think YouTube compresses 4K footage anyway. So I've heard. I'm not really savvy and up to speed on all of this video editing and the technology and how it all works, and I'm just a learner fumbling around in the dark. But fumbling around in the dark, does that analogy even work? Yeah, I'm just a beginner really when it comes to creating content and editing footage. So what was I saying? Oh yeah, so I think apparently YouTube compresses 4K footage down to 1080p, so I don't know whether or not the quality will be as good on YouTube as it might be when I'm watching it back on the camera, if that makes it, or on my phone. But we'll see. Anyway, we'll see. So as a polite reminder folks, remember, if you're not already, follow me on TikTok. Also head over to YouTube and subscribe. I need subscribers. I'm trying to build my subscriber base on YouTube, trying to build up as many subscribers as I can, and obviously the more subscribers, the more interaction I get from all of you lovely people, then the more content I'll create. What is going on here? Why is it so busy? It's probably just because it's Friday. So yeah, this is Chukesbury, as the locals call it, Chukesbury, but I would say Chukesbury. It's a gorgeous little town. I really like it. I do miss it in a way. Basically my kids grew up, well, they didn't grow up here all of their life, but two of my kids at least had their teenage years here in Chukesbury. So I've got a lot of memories here really, and I just really like the town. It's just a nice little busy little town. It's one of those places where you could sit and have a coffee, sit out on the street having a coffee and just watch the world go by for years. Anyway, I'm going to park up here, round here somewhere, and have a coffee. So I'll be back with you very shortly, where I will take you on one of my favourite roads. Well, one of my favourite roads in this area anyway. The Chukesbury TT. Oh, I do that all the bloody time. I go to kick the side stand down and I kick it into gear. What a dickhead. That's getting edited out. Okay, so I have had a lovely Spanish latte. You might have guessed that I like drinking lattes. And I'm now going to go and do a good route back home. I might actually stop in Gloucester and see my daughter. My daughter who lives in Gloucester. But the road I'm going to do now is an awesome biking road, and the sun has come out a little bit. It's brightened up a little bit. So what are you all up to this weekend? Oh yeah, so tomorrow, just as a reminder, I'm filming a podcast with the guys over at Cams and Cranks. So Cams and Cranks, the guys have got their own YouTube channel, and I've mentioned this before, but just as a reminder, they build pit bikes and stuff. And I know one of the guys, Harry, and I've met Max as well. Haven't met Vinny yet, but yeah, so I'm gonna head up to Max's place tomorrow morning, and we're gonna film a podcast. And I'm also gonna do an episode of, got an itchy nose again. I'm also going to do another episode of Heartbeats and Horsepower with Harry's dad. So a while back I did an episode with Harry on his Honda CBF 125, and Harry's dad has got, I think he's got the CB 125, I can't remember, but I'm going to do an episode of Heartbeats and Horsepower with his dad on that bike, and then we're going to get the podcast done. Oh, I can smell shit. Let's go and see if my daughter's in then. Some guy just stopped on he was on an Aprilia, no sorry, a Triumph Daytona 660. He said he just picked it up this morning at 11 o'clock, so he's out on a spin getting used to it. And he came off, he had a GS 850, is it? BMW GS 850 or 800 before that, so a very, very different bike to the Aprilia. So he said he's still getting used to it. But yeah, nice guy. It's buried in my soul, like California gold. You found the light in me that I couldn't find. And I'm all choked up, but I can't find the words. Okay, I won't subject you to any more singing. Maybe not. Maybe I will. Every time we say goodbye, baby, it hurts. I've been actually thinking recently about maybe test riding a few more bikes, you know, just to create content. I did it a couple of years ago. I test rode the BMW S1000RR from the BMW dealer. I had no intentions of buying it, but I wanted to test ride it because of all the hype, and I was mostly impressed with the bike, to be honest. I was mostly impressed with it. It did feel a little bit, well, it felt very different because obviously it's got ride-by-wire throttle, and that is noticeable. And when I first jumped on it, I felt a little bit almost detached from the bike. but it's probably something that you could very easily get used to. But yeah, it was good. It was good to test ride it. So maybe I'll do that more often. Maybe I'll test ride a few bikes and do some reviews. So no, my daughter wasn't home. To be fair, they're probably out, like the kids are off school, so they're probably out having fun somewhere. So I'm gonna head home. I think gonna go back the same way that I came. Unless, no, I know where I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go to J&S in Cheltenham. I haven't been there for a while, and they moved buildings because there was basically a bike dealer that had closed down, which was opposite J&S, and then J&S have moved into that building. So fuck it, I'm gonna go there. Oh, let's head home. It does look like it's gonna bloody rain in a minute, but hopefully I can get out of here before it does. So yeah, that's J&S's new building then. It's quite big in there, but I don't know, it seems dark and a little bit messy and unorganised in there. I'm probably being a bit harsh there, but I like browsing around places like that every now and again, trying to avoid spending more bloody money on bike stuff. Like, it's ridiculous the amount of money that we have to spend on bike shit. It is one very bloody expensive hobby.